Let us now consider the second field bus technology, which is called Modbus. So in Modbus, we are going to look at the physical layer, including the topologies, Modbus registers, and the data link layer, the application layer, and a variant of Modbus called Modbus TCP, as well as interoperability between multiple variants of Modbus. Now, before we go into Modbus, I would like just to take a few minutes to explain one of the application cases of generally field bus technologies. So that as I explain some of the properties of these field bus technologies in this lecture and the next, we are able to appreciate how they are going to be implemented or how they are going to operate. So, say for example, you consider the diagram shown here, where you have a PLC implementing a level controller, and you have a PLC running the application software, and the level transmitter is used to measure the current level in the tank, and that information is used by the level controller to manipulate the level control valve so that the level in the tank is being controlled. So in the whole process, we can see that the level transmitter sends information to the level controller, and then the level controller computes this information, the current level, to compute what needs to be done to the level valve in order to keep the level to the set point that has been given by the PC. The PC sends the set points to the level control. So in this case, in fact, we can draw this from a control systems point of view. We can draw this diagram in a form of a control loop where the PC sets the set point and the level controller takes information from the current measurement and the set point to see if there is a difference between the current measurement and set point to decide on how to tune the level valve. For example, if the current level is below the required level as per the set point, then the level valve will be opened so that the water from or the fluid from the tank can be pumped out. And then the tank, on the other hand, so this is how basically it controls the level in the tank, and so on and so forth. So in this diagram, you can see that there are controller devices. This would be the PC and the PLC. There are also typical what's called slave devices, which will be the level transmitter and the level valve. And this setup or this control or this method of controlling, this feedback control can be implemented with the help of Modbus communication. So to start off with, first of all, Modbus, like many other feedback technologies, is a serial digital communication protocol which was initially developed by a company that used to be a predecessor to Schneider, and it was mainly used or intended to be used at a control level of the control hierarchy to connect multiple PLCs. It has a considerable amount of market share, around 11% globally, and normally it has three common versions, which is Modbus ASCII, Modbus RTU, and Modbus TCP. Now, the difference between the three versions is that, first of all, Modbus ASCII is the slowest, and it uses the slow connection of the modem cable, or it can use for RS485 physical connection or the RS323. And then a slightly faster version, which is the most common one or widely used, it's called Modbus RTU, which it's twice as fast as the Modbus ASCII, in the sense that it communicates at one time a byte of information, wherever whereas Modbus ASCII communicates 4 bits at a time. And it also uses RS485 and RS232. And both of these two earlier versions of Modbus are called Modbus serial. And then alternatively, you have what's called Modbus TCP, which is basically a Modbus technology that uses a TCP/IP protocol stack. And if you look at the diagram here of the protocol stack, you will see the difference. So Modbus RTU and Modbus ASCII, they implement the physical layer, the data link layer. From there on, the Modbus application layer. However, the Modbus TCP uses the full TCP/IP protocol stack. It uses standard Ethernet for layers 1 and 2, and then layer 3 uses the IP protocol, and the transport protocol uses TCP or UDP. And so these are the two differences. So Modbus TCP is basically Modbus over Ethernet and TCP/IP protocol stack.